What's good, YouTube? You already know who it is, man. It is your boy, man, Jerry Fit, and we are back to react with what's new on the tube. We got a special Tommy G video for y'all today, man. Day in the life of a California billionaire. Every time Tommy G drops, you guys want me to react to it, so I got y'all, man. Just saw this on my feed today, so we're just gonna jump into it, honestly. But before we jump into it, you already know what I'm gonna tell you. If you like these kinds of videos, man, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications because we're posting every single day, man. I don't know why I have to keep reminding you, bro, but let's jump into the video.
Do you need money to be happy? No.
I don't know why I always does
Do you
this.
need money to be happy? No. Money's good, but it's a fool's errand to think, oh, I'm rich, I'm going to be happy. It doesn't work that way.
Hey, man, especially starting my corporate job, student corporate world, I feel like this would be a good video to watch to I don't know, just kind of understand from a billionaire's perspective what it's like to have like a crazy amount of power. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that I'm aiming to have a crazy any power or anything like that. It's just entering the corporate world, especially going into sales. It's kind of a cutthroat industry, so I'm actually really interested to see what he has to say. Share with Tommy G throughout this video. Like I told y'all, man, we react to a wide range of things, bro. We're not afraid to react to anything. Shout out Tommy G for the video.
Let the money come when it comes. And it'll come maybe when you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s. It doesn't really matter that much. Don't focus on money all the time. Today we dive into the life of California billionaire Carl Barney. He's what some would say is living proof of the American dream. You see, Carl grew up in England in a family of modest means, and he came to America as a young man with just a few dollars to his name. Eventually in his career, he founded a collection of private colleges, and through the success of these colleges, he created an immense amount of wealth. Carl believed with his schools that he was revolutionizing education. However, the state of California felt differently, and Kamala Harris, the California Attorney General at the time, made the controversial decision to force his schools to shut down. And we'll be diving deeper into that later today. But for now, Carl's on a new mission.
It's gonna be an interesting video.
A new idea that might change the way you think about life, money, and happiness. In this episode, we see into the world of the ultra wealthy, and we ask the question that everyone wants to ask a billionaire. Before we get into the life of a billionaire, I gotta tell you about some gnarly computer stuff. There's a software out there called Gravity to do custom class. Oh,
Gotcha, man.
You spent the night in this establishment. Many would consider top of the line in my opinion. And today, we're going to the upper echelon of society. We're talking to a billionaire. Now, some people nowadays, they look at a billionaire and say, just by existing, you're sketchy, or your morals are wrong, or you're a bad person. Other people will look at a billionaire and say, you should be celebrated, studied, questioned to see what we can learn from a person like you. So without further ado, let's hit the road, Nico. Folks, we are just pulling up.
I feel like there's a lot of factors that go into things like that when it comes to liking billionaires and disliking them. I feel like it all really kind of depends on the person at the end of the day, because there's billionaires out there doing good, and then there's weirdo freak billionaires that create the stereotype that people go off of. So I think there's two sides to everything. You guys
A
know.
little bit, Harry wants to say nervous, just because I almost feel out of
Yo!
kind of oh my gosh, in a game of business, he's Michael Jordan, he won the game, and we should look at him, but then there's another aspect of we control everything.
Yo, is this dude have pants on? Oh, bro, no, this is crazy, man.
Yeah. Good morning. You must be Tony. Nice to meet you. Good to meet you. Welcome. I'm doing great, thank you. So here at your palace, huh? Well, I wouldn't call it palace, but it's got a nice view. How old were you when you made your first $1 million? 39. And how old were you when you made your first $1 billion? That's sensible. That was actually a few years ago. I detect a bit of an accent. Yes, I was born and raised, went to school in England. When I was 18, I left England. I traveled over the land.
I can't even really pick up on the accent.
In London, through France and Italy, Yugoslavia, Bulgaria, spent 5 years in Australia, traveling around Australia, and then came to the great United States. And right now we are in a magnificent, beautiful house. How'd you grow up? We were not very poor, but we didn't have any money. There were 6 of us to feed. This was right after the war in England, the Great War. The food was living ration for up to 10 years after the war, right? Exactly, you know that. That's good. You must have read a book something about that. So yeah, it was rationing, and we're very frugal, lived very modestly. lot of young people, especially young men right now, are feeling like they need to be a millionaire when they're 20 or they're 18, and they feel this grand urgency to do so. What would you tell them?
I say urgency is great, ambition is great, but don't press it. Let it happen. Let it unfold. Pursue your dreams. Pursue a purpose. Know what your purposes are. My purpose was education. I wanted to do a great job in teaching people. That's where I made my money, in education. But the education came first and the money came secondary. Let the money come when it comes. And it'll come maybe
Some real game, man.
20s or 30s or 40s. It doesn't really matter that much.
Never lose faith is basically what he's saying.
On money all the time. It'll take care of itself.
Did ever in your dreams think you'd be in a multi-million-dollar house on the coast of California?
Yes, I did. Actually, yeah, I'm a big believer in dreams.
You just wrote a book focusing on happiness. Why?
Well, it was an experiment that I conducted, and I saw the results of the experiment. I saw people getting happier, and I thought, wow, this is working. I better write a book. I had no intention of writing a book until I saw what happened. I found it was inspirational, and I thought the world needed to know about it.
Have you ever checked that book out?
Of increasing happiness.
Have you ever been depressed before?
I was depressed one time in my life when I was a teenager. I just couldn't figure it out. And I made the mistake of reading, this was a long time ago, I made the mistake of reading a book on psychology, which made me even more depressed. I was depressed, I think, for about 2 days.
Do you need money to be happy?
Alright, bro, what?
No. Money's good. It helps with happiness, no question.
For about 2 days? We gotta go back to that. What?
Couldn't figure it out. And I made the mistake of reading, this was a long time ago, I made the mistake of reading a book on psychology, which made me even more depressed. But I was depressed, I think, for about 2 days.
You need money to be happy.
No. Money's good. It helps with happiness, no question about it. There's a lot of values you can get from money. But it's a fool's errand to think, oh, I'm rich, I'm going to be happy. It doesn't work that way. Money is secondary to having something inside of you, your dreams, your goals, your ambitions. That's the main thing. And then make as much money as you need to fulfill your dreams. I still have a dream of another house, but this is
just a starter house for you?
Yeah, this is a starter house.
During your peak working moments, what were the most hours per week you were working?
100 hours, maybe a little bit more or less. I don't recommend it, but there's times when you do it because that's what needs to get done.
Gotta do what you gotta do at the end of the day, man. Sometimes you gotta, to get to where you want to go, you gotta put in that extra hours,
I
man.
am Larson. This painting over here is Prometheus. And you know the story of Prometheus? He took fire, which symbolizes enlightenment. Enlightenment from the gods, the fire from the gods, and brought it to man.
If you don't mind me asking, what is the most you've ever paid for a piece of artwork?
$200,000. The first college I did was
If you know, you know.
college in England, where I studied language and math. And I had finished the math course, but then I went to Australia, so I didn't complete the full program. Then in Australia, I took a course in accounting and did not care for it, so dropped out of it.
You still need to go to college to succeed.
In some fields, you need to go to college. Obviously, if you're going to be a doctor, you've got to go to college. If you're going to be a lawyer, you have to have a law degree. You have to go. So there's some fields. So I would say yes, absolutely, and no, absolutely. It depends what you want to do.
Can we check out your kitchen?
Now you're getting very personal.
Yeah.
But I'll make an exception.
Okay,
Come on, we'll take a look at the refrigerators.
See what a billionaire eats, man.
This one is called a magic refrigerator. It's magic because when anything runs low, it magically is topped up. So I never run out of anything. Never run out of milk or orange juice or anything like that.
What's your favorite food?
I love the morning succulent oranges, fresh, cool oranges. I love the food once in a while, going out to dinner, but I have a wonderful housekeeper. Her name is Lorena. She just cooks clean and wholesome. I will have an occasional wine once in a while, but very rarely. I stay off alcohol.
Am I right in guessing that sugar is also a minimum in your diet?
Sugar is death. No sugar, or as little sugar as possible, and lots of protein, particularly when you're getting older.
I saw you at a gym downstairs.
Health is wealth, for real. Get disciplined in the gym and watch everything else in your life get better, man. I'm telling you.
They work out. One thing I noticed on you, your forearms, dude. Those are strong forearms. Okay? So here you got the veins going on. A lot of people do bicep curls, but a real measure of a man, especially grip strength, in the forearm.
I work out isometrics 1 day a week. I have a trainer come by on Wednesday who does more flexibility and balance diet. On Thursday, I have a strength trainer who does weights with me. And then Friday and Saturday, more cardio.
solid routine for an older dude.
Everybody has an age. It's, live until I'm 80 or 90, or maybe they shoot for 100. He said, well, extend it. Go for a bigger number. So I thought, well, what can I realize? I said, what's the record? It's a bit over 120. So 122 is the record. I think, well, I can shoot for. No guarantees, unfortunately. My doctors will not put it in writing. This is like the workroom, and I do reading, writing, computer stuff, meetings sometimes.
Carl, I see you surrounded by a lot of books right now. Is there any one book that you say has been most impactful on your life?
Well, there's a lot of books that are impactful, but one major one has been Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand.
Atlas Shrugged is a 1,000-page book by Ayn Rand, and it is basically the Bible for hardcore capitalists. The premise of the book is essentially that the hero, the entrepreneur, is continually overcoming rules and regulations put in their path by the enemy, the government, and it shows the entrepreneur's journey to overcoming this evil. This book is foundational to Carl's thinking and helps you better understand someone in the ultra-capitalist category. I read it in college and recommend you do it if you have some extra time on your hands.
Maybe I'll check it out.
My life, and then I did the soul searching, and I came up with 2 high values. I love management. Crazy, but I love it. I love management. I also love education. I find it's a high value for me and a high value for other people. So I wanted to do something that involved management and education. So that's when I applied my first private college, a business college in San Jose, California. We went broke after 6 months. So I had to roll up my sleeves and work, and I built it up, became very successful, and then over the next 3 years, I grew up to 20 on-ground campuses in various six East
That's so crazy.
And then started a university called Independence University, which had 1,500 people working for it, grew quickly to 10,000 students.
I can't believe you can really get your college shut down. What are they saying about Kamala?
Successful in that case.
And then you had a battle with the government. They shut your schools down by my research is correct.
This is one. So I'm honored to be one of her enemies. She and Dick Durbin ordered the colleges closed, and we talk to each other behind the scenes, and there's a bunch of activists that hate private colleges. All colleges and universities ought to be run by the government. Everybody knows that, so to speak. But I was private and profitable, and they didn't like that. Hey, how are you all?
Good morning. Fantastic.
Carl starts off his morning with a few Zoom meetings. The first one is him giving marching orders to his team of assistants, and another one is catching up with his friend Peter Diamandis, a man who is a powerhouse in the space of innovation and someone Carl passionately supports with financial backing.
Remember, life is to be enjoyed. Enjoy the day, and I'll catch up with you when I come back home.
It's wonderful. You have a great day.
What was your next move after your schools got shut down?
I sort of coasted a little bit. I did some consulting work. I did a couple of things like that. But I think the next big thing was the book. It took me 3 years to write the book, and now I'm working on promoting the book.
Guys, there's something you should know. Carl has a free happiness quiz he designed to help you better understand yourself and how happiness comes to your specific personality type. I took this quiz and enjoyed reading through the results. If you would like to take it for yourself,
I'm skeptical because, like, with things like this, like, they could just be using it to get, like, information on you to try and make them, or make you, like, join the thing, you know what I'm saying? Like they were with Scientology. So, like, I'm just skeptical about things like
link is
this.
in my description.
What do you guys think in the comments?
In my situation, would have money, and they don't know what to do with it. They give it away to charities, which is good. They give it away to universities, which is fine, and hospitals and various services. Whoever it was that enabled you, or me in this case, to become successful and happier, acknowledge them. And I had 20 people in my will. And I got down, I sat down with them just like I'm sitting down with you, and I said, look, you've been enormously helpful to me. You've done this, and you've done that, and you helped me in this way. So the adverse feedback, and I said, I'm really grateful. And I want to express that gratitude to you by giving you a happiness grant. So I said to them, I said, I don't want this money to be a problem for you, to make you more successful and happier. They said, well, what kind of plan? And I said, well, I want you to write a happiness plan. And they said, happiness plan, what's that? I said, well, I'll hire a coach for you, a happiness coach. And they'll help you develop a plan.
20
and
different
when I see
coaches?
the plan, you know what you're going to do with money. I'll send it to you all at one time. It's yours.
Damn. What an incentive.
One thing that I'm observing is you can look at siblings within a family, and some are very ambitious, some are very lazy, and some are in between. To me, it almost seems like there's an intrinsic thing that some people have and some people don't. What do you think it is that sets the ambitious apart from the non-ambitious?
I think there is such a thing as temperament, one that seems like influence. But I think there's an influence. And beyond that, and what we can control, is what we read, people that we associate with, identify early in life or later in life, something that you love to do, that fascinates you, that motivates you. And then, if you can do that, some people do it and some people don't, and it evolves over a period of time until you say, hey, this is what I want to do with my life.
In the pursuit of wealth, you ever felt like you left relationships with family and friends on the back burner and you regret it?
I was never in a pursuit of wealth, interestingly enough. I wanted enough money to not have to worry about it, but I never pursued wealth. I love management, I love education, and I pursued that, and the money came.
One thing I've come to learn about many of the ultra wealthy is they view time as their most valuable asset.
Definitely, bro. Once you start realizing like how much time you really have like in a day, like it's so easy to really like want to lock in and focus on the shit that you need to get done because there's really only so much time in a day, you know what I'm saying? Bro, if you're like literally waiting to get started on your shit, like your content shit or like any side hustle that you're doing, bro, you gotta start now, man. There's only so much time in the day. Like you gotta really make every hour count. Time is money, man. If you're not actively doing stuff to get towards to where you want to be, man, you're just literally wasting time. And when you start thinking about it like that, shit can change, bro.
Driving through LA traffic, we head
All
to
I'm
a
saying.
private airstrip where Carl has a helicopter ride waiting for us.
Yeah, thank you for a safe flight. I appreciate it. A little bit of happiness for you, okay?
Appreciate it, guys.
Have a good day. See you on
A
the way
little
back.
bit of happiness.
You know, but the American dream is so important, and it inspired generations of people, and it needs to be revived. There's no Russian dream, you know, or even English dream or Australian dream. It's typically American, and that says something about the American mindset. You know, that we want life to be better for ourselves and our family.
Why do you think so many people today feel like it's out of reach?
Something really bad happened in America, and you know, it's probably not just one thing, but so one thing after another happened. Somehow we've lost the spirit, you know, we've lost the dream, and that's very sad.
So it seems like to me, the way you're articulating it, the American dream is not a thing, it's not a policy, but it is a belief in a better future that we had for many years in this country, but it's been down in recent times.
It's diminished and it's faded, and that's very sad.
Carl is on the move promoting his book launch, so our first stop is at the iHeartRadio headquarters where he sits down with Ellen Kay, the host of the #1 radio show in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Later.
Who are you?
Carl and Ellen.
I'm not gonna show
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Are you kidding me? I'm a red-blooded American. Good to meet you. Lovely.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you for coming. All right, we're here with Carl Barney. Welcome to our radio show, the Feel Good Morning Show, and this podcast. This is all about people who make us feel good, Carl, and you are one of them. Welcome.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm pleased to be here.
I am loving your book, The Happiness Experiment. Carl B. Barney, tell me about The Happiness Experiment.
This happened naturally with real people, with real experiences. Happened came from three places. One, I almost died in a plane crash. We died in this. That's what I thought. This is not going to be fun. The next thing that happened was that I heard that my sister's husband was dying. And I sat down with her and I said, Janet, I'm really sorry. I said, you're in my will. And I'm going to bring it forward and give it to you now so that you can fulfill any last wishes with Colin, her husband. But my older brother was sitting there. And I said, well, I'm going to do the same thing with you. His wife went ballistic. She said, this is too much money. I don't want anything to do with it. It's wrong. And she stormed out of the room. So that was a big surprise. But it gave me a lesson. And then the next thing that happened was I'm looking over my financial statements, and I've been very fortunate. I've made a lot of money, but there was money sitting on my financial statement which wasn't doing it. And these things came together. The people in my will after the plane crash, my sister giving her the inheritance, and now this money. I said, how can I use this money for myself and those I really cared about? So that started the experiment.
Based off your experiment, do you think universal basic income is a good idea?
Oh, that is such a complicated question. I'm really not qualified to answer that, but it's good and it's bad. I mean, it's good if it gets rid of a whole lot
He's
of government
PR trained.
interference and complication. So economically, it might be
Whereas
Milton
80
Friedman
years
said,
of
but generally
experience.
speaking, I think you destroy lives by giving people money when they're not ready for it.
And I've actually found that giving money away is very hard and oftentimes creates resentment in the people that you give it to. How did you avoid that with some of your closest friends and inner circle?
That was something I had to struggle with. How can I just do this? Sit down with my friends who are, you know, they're substantial people. They wouldn't accept charity. They didn't want a gift, but it was delivered as something. And I said, you've got to think of me as being dead. You don't owe me anything. I said, if not, I don't want to do this if it's going to make a problem with our relationship. And some of them did. So 3 of the people said, no, I can't accept it.
I thought it would be an interesting dynamic to schedule a meeting between a billionaire and ex-cons that were running the streets of Los Angeles.
What?
Some of these guys like Bozo did major prison time, but now after getting out, are entrepreneurs eager to talk business with Carl. Thank you. Good.
Hey, man, shout out Tommy G for setting this opportunity up for these kinds of guys, man. That's fucking dope.
Nice to meet you, Angel Reyes.
Hello, Angel. Good to meet you. I just along trying to leave me a hand, okay? That's good.
I think the thing is here is we're all on a similar quest in life. We're all trying to be successful. We're all trying to be entrepreneurs, and I feel like there's not a lot of it that we learn in school. So I feel like this is a cool way. We all come from different parts of life.
Yes,
You grew up in England. You guys grew up in LA. I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago. Moved to Milwaukee. And I think it's cool. We brainstorm and see what we can come up with to learn and advance our missions. You know.
Predominantly, we grew up in the city. Me and him are childhood friends. You know, both of us have real childhood, whatever. I just did 10 years in prison. I've been out about 9 years now. So after I did my 10 years, I told him I need to get back on my feet. You know what I'm saying? Figure out something. I didn't want to. It was a revolving door. You know what I mean? I didn't want to go back to prison no more. I put myself in trade school. I did photovoltaic, and also independently, I'm a recording artist. So signed with OTR, got a deal offer, and I've been doing a lot of like administration with them, like helping with artists, also.
Bro's getting shots at the meeting with the billionaire? Or are those just lemons?
You know, but we're all kind of entrepreneurs. He has his own fashion brand too. He does real estate also.
But I was telling him about making a curriculum, whether it's 6 weeks or 8 week curriculum, or doing the forced logies, some type of trade.
Give them the skill fast.
What's fast?
Immersion. Yeah, get into it and get out.
What's dire here?
Give the incentive to have a job after it.
I think that's a fabulous idea.
So I ended up fighting for my life for about 43 days in the hospital, refused the ventilator, refused the blood transfusion, asked God to help me, and within 2 days, I was getting better. I got severe lung damage. I got
What happened?
So I had to, of course, now I'm disabled, but I had to move differently and learn how to move differently, and it was a process for me for about a year some change.
You literally came from death's door. I mean, you were about as low as you could go, physically and mentally.
Absolutely.
And you were dead, to a dog.
Absolutely.
And then you turn around, and in the last few years, you've got all of that. You're freaking amazing. Tommy was asking me, he said, homeless and all of that, what's the solution? I said, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know how you deal with the problems. But, people get in that cycle and they never make it work out. You guys have the answer. Today, Tom said to me, he said, we're going to meet these guys from the hood or from downtown. And he said, they've done some amazing things for their life and they've turned their life around. That's amazing things. And, you're going to meet with them and maybe they're going to ask you some questions and learn from me. But right now, for this first half an hour, I've learned from you guys.
What's one of the biggest lessons in business you've learned?
I think one of the things that really made a big difference to me is to knowing what you want to do with your life. It's huge. You can die without knowing what you want to do with your life. But if you spend the time thinking about it, talking to people, talking to your romantic partner, talking to your friends, talking to a coach, but figure out what you're going to do and why you're doing it.
Yeah, that's a good point, though. You can't just walk around the earth not knowing what your purpose is, man. You gotta always try to go for it. The driver having Dolce & Gabbana shaped is crazy.
For the people out there that haven't accumulated a fortune yet, how can they use your book? How can they get back to the truth?
There's no matter getting back. Nobody stole anything. Nobody has to give anything back. The people that have wealth, they want to use it in the service of their own happiness and the happiness of those that they care about, those they love, and for whom they are grateful. This is a wonderful mechanism of giving them not a bequest, but a prequest to enrich their lives, their success, their happiness.
Who's your hero, Chris?
Ayn Rand. I mean, she is courageous intellectually. She has promoted some ideas which were just so revolutionary, so much ahead, and she stands by her ideas, and she defends them, and she's articulate. Who would write a book called The Virtue of Selfishness and put that in the title? And everybody knows that selfishness is an awful thing and so forth. But then when you get to understand, and that bothered me, I wouldn't want to read that book. But then when I got into what she meant by that, which is living your own life and having the greatest life that you can, and loving
You gotta
your
be
own
selfish.
life, loving life. I don't agree with everything the man read and said, but in every substantial way, I think this woman is a hero.
Carl heads to another radio show to continue promoting his book, and this time he sits down with the popular host, Rick Dees.
Hey, it's me!
How are you, buddy?
I'm good, and you?
Good to see you, sir.
My assistant is in love with you.
Oh no, I'm gonna hug you for that.
Oh, well, hug her. I'll take that to her. She's going to be flipped out.
First of all, she gets these. It's too hot. She only gets this. Oh my God, I'm excited right now. By the way, it is with these. I am so very, very blessed to be in the presence of Carl Barnett. And it is a joy to have you. This is a conversation, and I hope that anyone listening or even watching would take something away and say, I'm going to try that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I really wanted to watch this video to just pick up on some game that he's dropping, man. Listen what he has to say. Hope y'all can appreciate this kind of vid, man.
Movement being led by AOC and Bernie Sanders, and they're filling stadiums around the country. And one of the premises of their movement, I guess you could call it eat the rich, but they say that not one person in the world should be worth over 999 million. That should be taxed at 100%. Is that a good idea?
It's evil. It's unjust. It's insane. It's communism. And these guys should go and enjoy China or North Korea. That's where they should be living. Because it's against human nature. If somebody is capable of making lots of wealth, they don't spend it. I mean, these people are so stupid. I'm sorry. You can only eat so many fine foods. You can only have so many airplanes, so many homes. What do you think these people, they reinvest the money? Who would you rather have spend billions of dollars? Elon Musk or AOC and Bernie Sanders? You want the government to spend your money? Or do you think you should keep it to yourself?
They're afraid it will get to a point in this country that the ultra wealthy will be able to influence elections, influence policy, influence law, to the extent where they just get to run everything. That's their thought. What is your take on this?
You mean like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders and OAC are influencing the culture and the thing? Those are guys have all the political power. Elon Musk and others, he doesn't have any real power. He has persuasion, he has ideas, but he doesn't have any power.
Like, I think initially when we think billionaires, it's going to be like, holy shit, it's this guy. And he's going to be so outrageous. I only have a sample size of 2, but these guys have been incredibly chill. And just pretty down to earth. But I don't think being a billionaire actually, it's how you became a billionaire that really matters. I don't think just being a billionaire makes you a good or bad
That's what I said at the beginning of the video, bro.
Here's what you guys think in the comments. Is this something you aspire to be? Like, do you want to be a billionaire? Me personally, the lifestyle I live, I know I don't need to be a billionaire, nor do I want to be one. Like, my life, even if I had $1 billion, my lifestyle wouldn't change. I would still drive my Chevy Cruze. I would occasionally buy ribeyes. Maybe I'd buy nicer Airbnbs when I'm on vacation, but it's not like I would be doing that much outrageous stuff.
It's pretty real.
Alright, folks, that was the day in the life. I hope you enjoy yourselves. Carl, is there anything you'd like to end this piece with?
This has been a very exciting and stimulating day. It's been a pleasure working with you guys. And if you say anyway, I'm chuffed, which means I'm very pleased.
Well,
Very satisfied. Thank you. That was a great day. Thank you. And thanks to the camera guys. You guys are awesome. If you could broadcast a message to every home in the country that your life is important, your own life is important, and respect that, and want what you want, whatever it is that you want, dreams, purposes, values, whatever what you want is important, and make it important. And Billionaire has a bigger mindset, and after a while, the numbers just become, zero more zeros.
Folks, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to purchase Carl's book,
Alright, man, that's gonna do it for the video, bro. If you want to check it out, y'all can go down to the description and watch the ending of that. But I really fucked with this video, bro. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. It was really cool to see him like kind of give a little insight of how he thinks about the world, and kind of see what like methods he applies to, his daily life. It was really interesting. I appreciate Tommy G for letting me use this content, bro. I hope you guys are able to appreciate this different kind of video, man. If you did, man, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, because we're posting every day. And we're going to be on the next Tommy G video too, bro. So let me know when he uploads next. Till then, I'll see y'all in the next video, man.